Okay, solving systems using substitution. We have two equations here, and what we're going to do is manipulate one of them and substitute it into the other. Whenever we look at a pair of systems, we hope to find one of them already being solved for, like this one is already solved for x. So that means we could substitute it into the other for x. So let's take a look at that. So we have x already being solved for, and it equals 3y. What we can do is replace the x in the other equation and replace it with whatever x equals, which in this case is 3y. So taking the x out and replacing it with 3y is our substitution. So now we have 6 times 3y minus y equals 79. 6 times 3 is 18y minus y equals 79. 18y minus y is 17y equals 79. Divide both sides by 17 and we get 79 over 17, which cannot reduce. So now what we have to do is find x. So we take our y and substitute it in for 3y, which equals x. So we have 3 times 79 over 17, and we get 237 over 17. So now putting our x and y together, we have 237 over 17 and 79 over 17 as our answer. So let's type that in. So parentheses 237 over 17 for x, and then y we have is 79 over 17. And there's number 1. So number 2, we are again solving this system by substitution. And we look and we see that one of our equations is already solved for a letter. The second one is solved for y. So then all we got to do is take what y equals and substitute it in for y in the first equation. So let's do that. So we have y equals 5x. So we can replace the y in the first equation with 5x. So we have x plus 5x equals 24. X plus 5x is 6x. We divide both sides by 6 and we get x is 4. Now we have to put x back in to get y. So x equals 4. We have y equals 5x. Let's replace x with 4. 5 times 4 is 20. So y is 20. Putting it together as an ordered pair, we have 420 as our point. So putting it in, we have parenthesis 4 comma 20 parenthesis. That's our answer for number 2. Okay, number 3. We are again solving the system using substitution. Our first equation is already solved for y, so that means we're going to want to use that one and substitute what y equals and put it in for y in the second equation. So let's do that. So we have y equaling negative 4x plus 36. So what we're going to do is take out the y in the second equation, which is 3y minus x plus 9 equals 0, and replace the y. Okay, so we take the y out and replace it with negative 4x plus 36. And now we will distribute because we have 3 times that. So 3 times negative 4x is negative 12x, and we have 3 times 36 is 108. And then we have negative 12x plus 108 minus x plus 9 equaling 0. Now we combine our like terms. Negative 12x minus x is negative 13x, and 108 plus 9 is 117. Now to solve for x from there, we subtract 117 from both sides to get the negative 13x by itself, and then we divide both sides by negative 13. Negative 117 divided by negative 13 equals 9, so x equals 9. Okay, so now we got to take that 9 and substitute it into the first equation to find what y is. So take out the x and replace it with 9. So we have negative 4 times 9, which is negative 36. Negative 36 plus positive 36 gives us 0. So now x is 9, y is 0, so my ordered pair will be 9, 0. So put that in parentheses. Okay, number 4. We are solving by substitution. We see neither one of these are in slope-intercept form, so we have to solve for one of them first. And for me, it looks like the bottom equation will be easier to solve for a letter, which we can solve for y, so let's do that. Okay, so we have negative 2x plus y equals 10. We add 2x to both sides, and we get y equals 2x plus 10. So now what we need to do is take that equation and substitute it in for the first one, for y. So we have 5x plus 6, and then in parentheses we have our 2x plus 10 equals 26. We distribute the 6 and we get 12x plus 60. So now we have to combine like terms. 5x plus 12x is 17x, plus 60 equals 26. Now we subtract both sides by 60. We get 17x equals negative 34. Divide both sides by 17, and we get x is negative 2. Now to find y, we take that negative 2 and put it back in the first equation for x. So 5 times negative 2 is negative 10. So you have negative 10 plus 6y equals 26. Add 10 to both sides, we get 6y equals 36. Divide both sides by 6, we get y equals 6. So then we have negative 2, 6 for our solution, putting those together. So we have, in parentheses, negative 2, 6. Okay, number 5. Again, neither one of these are solved for a letter, so we need to solve for one of them. So let's take a look. So what I'm going to do, because you can either solve for y in the second equation or x. If I solve for y, it's going to give me a fraction I'm going to have to substitute in. And I want to deal with them as little as possible, so I'm going to solve for x. Again, you're still more than welcome to solve for y if you want, but I'm going to solve for x. So to do that, I'm going to add 1 to both sides, and I'll have 8y plus 1 equals x. So then I'm going to take the 8y plus 1 and substitute it in for x in the first equation. So I'll have 2, and then in parentheses, 8y plus 1. So distribute the 2, that'll give me 16y plus 2 minus 8y equals 1. Combine my like terms, 16y minus 8y is 8y, then plus 2 equals 1. Subtract 2 from both sides, you'll get 8y equals negative 1. Divide both sides by 8, and we'll have y equals negative 1 over 8. Okay, so now to find x, I need to substitute that in to my top equation, or I could substitute it back inside for the other one, doesn't matter. So I'm going to replace the y with negative 1 over 8. Negative 8 times negative 1 over 8 would be positive 1. Subtract 1 on both sides, I'll have 2x equals 0. Divide both sides by 2, and x equals 0. So then my coordinate's going to be 0 and negative 1 over 8. So let's put that in. We have 0 and negative 1 over 8. Number 6. Sarah took the advertising department from her company on a round trip to meet with a potential client. Including Sarah, a total of 12 people took the trip. She was able to purchase coach tickets for $120 and first-class tickets for $1,150. She used her total budget for airfare for the trip, which was $4,530. How many first-class tickets did she buy? Okay, so the first thing we notice is that there are two different types of tickets. There are coach tickets and first-class tickets. So let's make x the number of coach tickets bought, and let's make y the number of first-class tickets bought. Now we're told that including Sarah, a total of 12 people took the trip. That means the total number of coach tickets plus the amount of first-class tickets give you a total of 12. So x plus y equals 12 for our first equation. For the second equation, we're told she was able to purchase coach tickets for $120 each, and first class for $1,150 each. So we have 120x plus 1,150y, x being the coach tickets, y being the first class tickets, and we had a total cost of 4,530. So set that equal to 4,530. So now we can go ahead and find the number of tickets. So first, what we're going to do is for the first equation, solve for either x or y. It doesn't matter which, you'll end up with the same answers at the end. So I'm going to go ahead and solve for y, and I will subtract x from both sides to do that. I'll have y equals negative x plus 12. So now what I need to do is take that and substitute it into the other equation to be able to solve for one of the letters. So now I will end up solving for x, but I take out the y and replace it with negative x plus 12. I distribute the 1,150 and I get negative 1,150x plus we have 1,150 times 12, which is 13,800. Now I combine my like terms here and I'll get negative 1,030x plus 13,800 equals 4,530. Subtract 13,800 from both sides, and I'll get negative 1,030x equals negative 9,270. Divide both sides by negative 1,030, and I'll get 9 for x. So now what I need to do is substitute the 9 back in to find what x is. So x is 9. So then I would subtract 9 from both sides, and I'll get y is 3. Now remember, x is the amount of coach tickets, y is the amount of first class. So when I substitute it in, it wants the first class first, which was y, and that's 3. Coach tickets is going to be x, and that was 9. Okay, and that's number 6. Okay, so two angles are complementary if the sum of them are 90. So if they add up to 90 degrees, two angles, they are complementary. We're being asked to find two measures of complementary angles if one of the angles is 29 times the other angle. So let's take a look at that. So we have two angles, angle 1 and angle 2. Whenever we set one of these up, one of your angles is always going to be x. So let's make the first one x. Now we're told the other one is 29 times the other one, so that would be 29x. Now we're told their sum is 90 degrees, so that means they add up, x plus 29x equals 90. So add up x and 29x, we get 30x. Divide both sides by 30, we get x equals 3. So the first angle, since it is x, has a degree of 3, so 3 degrees. For the second angle, we multiply 29 times 3, and we get 87 degrees. So when we put it back in, the smaller angle is 3 degrees, and the larger angle is 87 degrees.